The High Court has turned against William Ruto and octogenarian Oburu gave them a shocking message. Welcome to Kenya Lens Media, where we give you news updates as they break, and kindly if you are new here, consider subscribing. Now, the High Court has temporarily stopped the removal of Nairobi Senator Sifuna as the Secretary General of the Orange Democratic Movement, dealing a major legal and political setback to the party top leadership. The decision allows Sifuna to retain his position for now, pending a full hearing of a dispute challenging his ouster. In a ruling delivered on Thursday, February 12th, the Political Parties Disputes Tribunal issued interim orders suspending the implementation of the resolution passed by ODM's National Executive Committee that sought to remove Edwin Sifuna from office. The tribunal also barred the publication of the decision in the Kenya Gazette, a key legal step required to finalize and formalize changes in party leadership. The court scheduled the matter to mention on February 26th, setting the stage for a legal showdown that could reshape internal power dynamics within one of the Kenya's most influential political parties. The tribunal's ruling was clear and immediate in effect. It ordered that NEC decision removing Sifuna must not be implemented until the case is heard and determined. It further restrained the party and the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties from publishing the resolution in the Kenya Gazette. By halting the gazettement, the court effectively froze the leadership change, meaning Sifuna remains the lawful Secretary General in the eyes of the law. Legal experts noted that without gazettement, any replacement would lack legal standing and could expose the party to further litigation. The case was filed at Milimani Law Courts, which handle many Kenya's most significant constitutional and political disputes. The tribunal intervention underscores the growing role of courts in resolving internal party conflicts. The court orders followed swiftly after Sifuna filed a petition challenging his removal. Just hours after ODM's NEC announced his dismissal, the speed of the legal action reflected the high stakes involved, both for Sifuna personally and for the broader opposition landscape. In his petition, Sifuna argued that the NEC acted outside the law and violated the ODM's constitution. He claimed that the decision was reached without due process, adequate notice, or a fair hearing, contrary to the principles of a natural justice. The tribunal agreed that the issues raised required careful examination and warranted temporary protection until all parties could be heard. The interim orders ensure that no irreversible steps are taken before the court reviews the substance of the dispute. Speaking to the press shortly before the court ruling, Sifuna mounted a strong public defense of his record and position. He rejected the NEC decision, describing it as illegal and procedural and politically motivated. He stated that the announcement made by a section of the NEC purporting to remove him had no legal basis and did not comply with the party's constitution. According to Sifuna, the move ignored internal disciplinary procedures and denied him the right to be heard. The senator framed the dispute not merely as the internal party disagreement, but a broader struggle over democratic governance within political parties. His remarks ignored an intention to fight the matter both legally and politically. At the heart of Sifuna's challenge, it is a claim that his removal was driven by political differences rather than misconduct. He argued that his refusal to support William Ruto and potential re-election made him a target within ODM. According to Sifuna, pressure had been mounting within the party to align more closely with the ruling administration. He maintained that his firm opposition to such a shift placed him at odds with influential figures who favored cooperation with the government. He insisted that opposing President William Ruto was not disciplinary offense and could not lawfully justify his removal from office. The claim introduces a wider political dimension to the case, linking internal party discipline to national political realignment. ODM's NEC has defended its decision, arguing that it was acting to protect party discipline and leadership standards. In a statement released after the NEC meeting, the party said it was concerned about rising indiscipline, particularly among senior leaders. The NEC stated that had deliberated on Sifuna's conduct and resolved to remove him with immediate effect. The Busia woman representative, Catherine Omanyo, was appointed as acting Secretary General pending the election of a substantive office holder. The meeting that led to the decision was chaired by the ODM party leader Oburu, underscoring the weight of the resolution within the party's leadership structure. However, the court orders now cast doubt on whether the NEC followed the party's own rules. The legal battle is shaping up to be a significant test of how political parties in Kenya manage internal disputes. Courts have increasingly been called upon to arbitrate conflicts arising from leadership changes, nominations, and disciplinary actions. The Political Parties Disputes Tribunal plays a critical role in enforcing compliance with the party constitutions and national law. Its decision to intervene suggests that internal party autonomy has limits, especially where due process is in question. Legal analysts say that the case could clarify the extent of NEC powers and the rights of elected party officials. Our final ruling may set an important precedent for how party leadership changes are handled in the future. Sifuna is among the longest-serving ODM Secretary Generals, having held the position for over 9 years. During that period, he became one of the party's most visible figures, known for his sharp legal mind and outspoken defense of opposition politics. His role placed him at the center of party administration, strategy, and communication. Removing such a figure carries both political and organizational consequences, especially at a time when opposition parties are recalibrating ahead of future elections. Supporters argue that his experience and national profile make him an asset, while critics within the party view his confrontational style as divisive. The court case now forces these debates into the open. The dispute over Sifuna's removal goes beyond one individual or one party position. It highlights the fragile balance between party discipline and internal democracy in Kenya's multi-party system. If the court ultimately rules in Sifuna's favor, it could limit the power of party executives to remove officials without strict adherence to constitutional procedures. Such a ruling could strengthen protections for elected party leaders and reinforce the rule of law within political organizations. If the court upholds the NEC decision, it may embolden party leadership to assert greater control over dissenting voices. Either outcome will influence how political parties manage disagreements, loyalty, and reform. As Kenya moves towards another election cycle, the case underscores a central question in the country's democracy: whether political parties can accommodate internal debate without resorting to punitive measures. The tribunal's final decision will be closely watched not only by ODM members but by the entire political class. That's all for today from Kenya Lens Media. Kindly, if you're new here, consider subscribing as a way of supporting and motivating us to be bringing you this content from Kenya and beyond.